Okay, so like we said, setup wise looking pretty good as it was before. Okay, lower half was certainly working a lot better and quiet as we said. What we had as you went back now is you took the top of the back, so the club would go away, and now the hip would kind of sort of rise up a little. Sort of your t-shirt there sort of going a bit more this way as you sort of rotate. This is going up rather than sort of back behind you kind of thing. Yeah. A little bit sort of popping up there. And when you swing as a result of that, got the club face to horizontal, okay, but that's gone 100% in effect, okay, clear all that. That's gone 100%. That's gone a bit more, and that's sort of popped upwards sideways. So now your arm swing, your club, your body and your hip movement are all slightly different in the way back. And you then got to try and judge all that movement back there, back to there, and it's just tough to get it. When you get enough shots in a row on here, 15 minutes before the lesson, you're finding the sort of strike, you're striping it. On a golf course, you get one shot from an uphill lie, downhill lie, different club, different shot, 10 minutes between you. Exactly. Yeah. It's all relying. Let's say if we had a provisional golf ball every time or a mulligan, we'd be great, wouldn't we? Yeah. Okay. So as we go back here now, this has got a better hip turn, so your hips are sort of going more on a level there. Shoulders gone a little bit too far again, but your club now for me is working more in line with the hips. So the body's getting a little bit more active than we want. I think you've always have quite a lot of shoulder turn, which isn't a bad thing, okay? But if we can blend the length of swing, both in terms of the club, the shoulders and the hips, so the hips are rotating round, not sliding and popping up. Yeah. I think when you try to stop the hips moving completely, if you just look at those two moves there, just look at your head position. Yeah. So your head's a little bit more that way rather than tilted this way. And that's kind of, if you get your right hip and do this, where'd your head go? Okay. If you do this, it kind of turns on a more level keel, so you're rotating around your body better. So it's not moving less, it's moving better. Okay, I think the last lesson from lesson 1 the other week and stuff, there was quite a lot of leg movement anyway and quite a lot of slide, and it was the lower half was active, okay, and you had a lot of instability and you couldn't really sort of swing the club on with any sort of level playing field underneath the hips there. Okay, now your lower half is more stable, your bad shot seems better, but that hip's just going to start popping up if you don't turn it properly. Yeah, I think in your head now you're thinking no legs, no legs, no legs. We discussed last session obviously. Yeah. What you're trying to do is no legs, but the hips have to still, okay, the hips got to move somewhere. Where they're going to move. Yeah. They either go upwards, or if you move them yourself, they'll go round. Yeah. So you've got to learn. And again, for me, what you'll find is as the club goes back here now, you'll go back kind of 45 degrees shoulder turn there, okay? Hips aren't really moving. From this point, look at all the Adidas logo on your leg there. As you start going, that's starting to move now as the hips are rotating, yeah? So your shoulders are continuously, the hips now are kind of, hips kind of now following around the club and the shoulders, trying to just again blend and sync all together. Yeah. So then when you swing the club maybe a little bit shorter or slower, or maybe a little knockdown shot into wind, or a different type of shot other than 100%, you still get that club back to the golf ball with some sort of regularity. When you try and, because how many shots on the golf course do you have a perfect yardage from a flat lie with a perfect everything? It's always a bit too much club, not enough club, adjusting this and that, and have to try and just manufacture shots. Yeah. But if your swing is a bit out of sync, you're always like, well, hang on, we're going to go guessing, aren't you? Okay, so lower half certainly a lot better in terms of how much it's not moving, but now you've got to work on how it's going to move. Yeah. It's going to move better, not less. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's moving less than it was last lesson. That's great. It's now a question of practicing that right hip movement. Where's that hip going to go? So the hip's got to go back behind you. A good drill to practice with. Have you got alignment sticks or any of this, like an old shaft or even a brolly, that kind of thing? Stick that in the ground next to your right foot, and your hip should kind of move away from that as it rotates. Yeah. Okay. So if I was using kind of a very big alignment stick here, okay. If I was sort of setting up here, what we don't want to do is this, and then that. Yeah. That's what you were doing. Okay. What we're doing is this, and then that. So this gap now is kind of increasing as the hip goes back behind. Whereas before you kind of did a lot of this, and you went into it. Now we're resisting that movement. As the shoulders get to about here, as the club starts working up, this hip now is going to work.
You're landing on the axis then.
Exactly, you're working on this way, the axis, the swing plane, okay? Around this way. If you stick no legs at all, you start moving. Okay, so alignment sticks on the grass up there maybe, or a brolly, or anything in the ground. Even your golf bag to some extent can actually function. You can sort of stick on the side and just sort of stand with your heels next to the your stand and your driver sort of on the side. That would work as a similar kind of thing. Yeah. It just gets the feeling of where that, and you can just practice and do some back swings. Is my right hip moving away from that whatever club, alignment stick or whatever? Yeah. Make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent.